male-bearing female names, they've all been registered. Just imagine what is going on. What is all this? We really need to caution INEC. Nigerians really need to work together. They really need to look into INEC. And don't think everything is okay. APC is not gonna let go. Of course, you all can see how arrogant, how proud they are, how confident they are that they have won already. What are you guys thinking? That's why they don't care. They don't give a damn about whatever anybody thinks because they know what they are doing. So Nigerians, please, we should look into this and we should really, really try to find out what is going on with INEC. Who are they registering with? We should really try to find out informations. I don't know the people who are going to do this. I don't know how far COOP can take this. CUPP. I think COOP. Yeah, I call it COOP. I don't know how far they can take this because this is not going to be just like something they discover at the end of the day. They will just let it slide and everything will just die like that. Trust me, my fellow Nigerians, APC is not going to sit back. They are going to do a lot of evils. They are not going to sit back. They got the money. They will penetrate a lot of evils on this election. So I really hope God, I really pray that, I don't know if we say we should pray, God has already helped us. So we are the one to help ourselves. Unfortunately, we have evil people in so many evil people in Nigeria that does not want to see Nigeria succeed. It's quite unfortunate. Thank you, Kachi.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you so much. And also thank you for the support. You did it yesterday, you did it again today. God bless you. Thank you for your wonderful contribution. I also want to say
Thank
thank
you
you to
too.
Mr. Yes, thank you very much. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Joseph Olgi for the super chat again. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. God bless you. May your pocket never run dry. We do appreciate you guys for your continuous love and support. God bless you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's move straight to the next person we have here. This is, I'm not sure I understand this name, but I'm going to pronounce it the way I can. It says Igbo Dined Press. Igbo Dined Press, please. I'm not sure I understand your name. Please, can you hear me? Okay, I think that person is not available right here. Mr. Alexander Gomez has done it again. Thank you very much, Mr. Alexander, for the super chat. God bless you. May your pocket never run dry. We appreciate you for your continuous love. Oh my God, thank you so much. I want to say thank you again to Mr. Joseph. Oh, gee. Mr. Joseph, thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate every single one of you, everyone who has super chatted us today. God bless you guys. May your pocket never run dry. I appreciate you guys. Igbo Dane Prince, are you ready for us now? Please, if you're not ready, I'm just going to move straight to the next person, which is Mr. CM. Mr. CM, good evening to you. Thank you for joining me today.
Okay. Good evening, Kachi. Um, and then good evening to the rest of the people on the platform, including those listening from wherever they may be. All protocols duly observed. Yes, I think I will have to react to what was it? Let me break one moment, please. I think the comment of Sowore, but I wouldn't dwell much on that because I've already, it's like we're talking about it all the time. Showore's tactics, he may think he's doing himself a favor, but he's not. He's writing himself down. My my aversion to his way of campaign or whatever is that he's not criticizing objectively or constructively so that somebody can easily, you can point us in the directions about probably about P2B so that we can find out what we did not know based on the light you are shining. But it ends up what Obasanjo calls bad belly. He sit in a studio, you tell him P2B did this, he will criticize it. Then do you have a better? Sometimes I blame most times I blame our journalists because they contribute to the underdevelopment of the country. They do not sort of ask questions the way you see in so many media all over the world do it. When you bring, before you do your background checks, you present a fact and the person says no, it didn't act. Then you ask him, do you have a better one? What is your better option? That is the thing. What is your better option? I remember Sowore in one of his interviews saying P2B didn't build a university. Look at the situation in Nigeria now. Must every state have all this a proliferation of universities? Is it not what is bringing down the standard of education? Lecturers, over 50% of Nigeria lecturers in higher institutions in Nigeria do not have a terminal degree, a PhD. Without PhD, that is wrong. You can't lecture without a PhD. It doesn't show. Or if you should have stop at masters, you show, I mean, very quite a good body of work in terms of research publication in internationally acclaimed journal that has good impact. But all these things, we don't even see it. So when he criticizes the way he does, you now have to find out that he's not even helping himself. He's just running around the tracks. What has he got to show? Nothing. Tell people what you are going to do, nothing. Then you keep going to one studio or another and then be, just be rehashing as if the people you are talking to are illiterates. We are not. We look at it. When you say something, we have to go and look at it. He hasn't got anything to offer. To me, or the way it is now, like somebody said, activism is different from from leadership. After all, the activism he's relying on was only at the University of Lagos. It wasn't even NAMS. It wasn't nationwide. His own student activism only stopped at the University of Lagos. Luckily for him, it coincided during the time of June 12th, 1992-93. So he felt that he capitalized on it. Always tell you, go and see I'm behind Abiola in a photograph, and so what? There are people that saw Abiola because they are not students. Maybe they are standing around Yaba, or when they are doing their man march with Taisho Larin in those days. But because they didn't snap photo with it, they can't show. So when he now comes up and starts saying all these things, that what has that got to do with executive, I mean, taking charge of the executive arm of government? That is what people want to know. How does that translate? Aluta continua Victoria Asata. How does it translate to taking charge of the executive arm of government? Dealing with diplomatic relations, dealing with the economy, building, nation building, and then defense, um, boosting your defense. After all, the primary aim of government is protection of life and properties. So, which is basically defense and then welfare. So, what really is he really talking about? All he does is just to tell you I've been an active. If you're an activist, and so what? Delegiwa can say he was an activist because of his brand of journalism. A lot of people. But when he keeps saying all this, is that all that you've been doing since 1992, 93? Then after that, what happened? You tell me how you rejected a car gift from IBB, and so what? Is that what you need to? Is that what we put you in Aso Rock? And then again, I think somebody alluded to it here. When he wants to talk of, we know in Nigeria that the resources of the country has been plundered, or at best looted, and then to get it back from them. Sure, they will always tell you that you don't go. You see, what you do is you strengthen the institutions. That you may not even say it. You quietly, you look at the law of EFCC and see whether there's a loophole why people get away with it. You tighten it. When you now come in, you won't even say anything. You quietly you gather all your evidence and then tell EFCC do your work, and then things will be going. That's what Peter Obi always said, that I cannot say because I want to recover money, I leave what I'm doing and be running after them. Remember, when you go to court, all these looters, all it takes for them is to mobilize maybe some millions or billions they've stolen. Get, Nigerian SANs, I think it's 100 million to get a SAN, or 200, I don't know. Get like 10 SANs, senior advocates of Nigeria, the likes of Kaya Modern, then maybe we will now switch over. Get them, and then they go to court and put injunction. Go to court and injunction. Maybe 4 years you're still there. So you have to see, you have to listen to that type of thing. That is what is making Fane Kayode to be talking everywhere. The moment EFCC tells Fane Kayode your case is coming up so time, Fane Kayode will fall sick. He will now go and claim sick. Bring one doctor to come and present. He can't stand trial. He's so sick. That is it. He will keep quiet. The moment it goes, so this is what you keep hearing. So all these things you have to know how to handle them. Which now brings me to an idea I had here. I don't really know. I was just coming in. Somebody was making it. When you want to recover stolen funds, because this should be a memo to P2B. We know they've stolen the money, but we don't know where they are. Not all of us anyway. Some people might know. What we needed to do was what you need to do was, first of all, you do your investigation quietly. Know where this fund, this money they've been hidden all over the world. I mean, for the politicians, you invite them. It doesn't mean they don't know why. You invite them. You say these are the money you stolen because we know you stole this money. It's like somebody like Ike Kweremadu now because he's in the headline for bad news, maybe for one type of a sorry situation. You tell him because before 1999, this was what you were worth. Since you became a senator, even this is your salary. How did you come about 22 houses all over the world? How? In different places, Dubai, UK, you everywhere, 22 houses. All these things. Then you tell them, say, look, these are what you have. We've seen it. We want you to bring it back home. When you bring it back, we want you to bring that money so that we put it in ASU Trust Fund to fund universities. They will be shocked. So you tell them this is what we want. Failing it, then you now deal with them because I think you will tell them that this we know this money, just bring it back. Don't keep it abroad. If you keep it abroad, they will use it to run the economy. Our economy is empty. We need this all this fund back. Then you bring them back. This is what you tell them. Obviously, some of them may agree, some may not agree. Then before the law takes its course now, because you now have to get it. So, but for you now to feel that when you come in, then everything becomes cat and mouse fight. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't show somebody who is a little bit civilized. And again, Sowore will tell you anybody that has a shake hand with IBB or shake hand with Obasanjo, you can't work with the person. What really are you trying? Are you going to create a society different from the one nature has given us? So when you see people talk like this, then you start to wonder: is he really? What is this man really saying? Holier than thou. In his party AAC, there are some crooks there, but he may not know. So does it mean that his party they are different from? Is it not people Nigeria where people cross from one political party to the other? You have to look at somebody on his own merit. I don't care whether you've been in PDP for 100 years, but I want to look at you on your own merit. Can you stand up to scrutiny? That's what you should talk, and not to tell me that this and that and that. After a part, you told me were the people that helped to draft the APC, and then when they were forming APC, Pat Utomi was there, and some other people. But Pat Utomi said when when Buhari came on board and abandoned the APC, beautiful APC manifesto, very beautiful, everything contained, including devolution of powers, and left it and start pursuing the manifesto of Mietiala. Then he distanced himself. So tomorrow, are you not going to tell me after Pat Utome was part of APC? And so what? Why not look at Pat Utome as an individual, then put him under the microscope so that he can be answerable for whatever he did? Not that because of by association. So if you associate with IBB, then you went to his house to shake hand with him, or you shake hand with Obasanjo, and then tomorrow, hey, no, I can't associate with. I mean, what sort of? You see all those when I hear Sowore say something like this, I feel so disappointed for somebody supposedly who claimed to have gone to Columbia University in the city of New York. He's not even he's not talking like somebody who is exposed or who really know what to do. He's just talking as if he's still in one type of leading one type of struggle against one corrupt VC in a university. That's not what we are talking. We are talking of how to handle a country, balance budget, do what is necessary to put your to put your country on a nice footing. Yet you are going from somewhere. When I see this type of anyway, to me, I've written him off. To be honest with you, because he's talking out of bile. It's no, no, you are not saying something. Even if you want to punish somebody, you use the rule of law. He's not talking of rule of law. Even if you want to punish IBB, supposing that you must have done your research very well, got all the fact. Because if you put IBB, call him to court, he will bring more than 50 sons. Then you will pursuing them. But it's what you have that we check. Or if you want, you can say you will you will establish a special court for corrupt cases. It's not a court that you have to go, you are joining a civil case in criminal case. No, you establish there's something like that is building institution. That's why the world had The world UN established International Criminal Court. Then there's International Court of Justice at The Hague. Then there's International Criminal Court, so that for those that have committed crime against humanity in whatever way, shape, or form, this is what we are talking. But somebody like this is not even nudging the country in that direction. All he's talking is just out of bile. You do this, you talk as if you are. I mean, if you come tomorrow, what if you alienate the people you are going to work with? Will you be alone? So I beg, please. So I think enough said for that. I think the next issue is about strategy for P2B to win. I think so far he's doing, I wouldn't say excellently well, but at least he's moving gradually, getting mileage by the day. But a lot still has to be done by labor, which essentially is they must insist on voter education. That is why I see it. It's not enough to say that it's not, but we don't have to leave anything to chance. Voter education is important. By this I mean at the grassroots level, you don't assume people knows the logo. You do not assume that people will do it very well that day. If there are army of volunteers that will be going around and say, look, probably when the campaign starts, this is how to vote, this is what to do, and this is what to do now. And then we have that is one. Then another thing is to be reminding INEC that under no circumstances will they come up with a flimsy excuse of maybe this thing failed, they can't transmit result. The only idea, because every polling unit must have had the result. So if you are voting in a local government, all the wards, before 2 hours or 1 hour after the closure, there has been a communication of all the results. So we can tally it and know that yes, in this local gov, even before official INEC announcement. The reason being that you cannot tell me, because those people at the polling booth who must have looked at every voting, all the agent must have agreed that yes, this one is voided, this is not voided, this is good. So you're not telling me that what was done maybe 1,000 miles or 500 miles outside Abuja. Later, INEC will now say those that were voided. It is the message we send from the polling booth. If we say there are 550 ballot papers that were used, maybe 85 were voided, then the rest were the ones that were properly, that we consider that we are good. Then based on that, we now have to divide it according to the candidates. So everything has been done at the polling. That's what we insist, because the power is there. You win or lose at the polling booth. What INEC is doing is just what you feed into them, they will announce. So if people are hoping that in the end that INEC will go and rig it that way, or INEC will now collude with them to go and rig it, that will be very, very bad. And another thing I want to point out is this idea of vote buying. The vote buying, how they now buy vote is because when you vote, you raise your ballot paper up for an agent to see it, to make sure that you really you thumb printed at the for their own candidate. What should be done was all the agents will be kept, maybe keep them in one room away from their voting. So when the voting must have closed, then you now bring them out so that they will not be around where they is being counted. But when it is being voted, going during thumb printing, they can't see any agent. In fact, they won't be within sight. Keep them in one room, lock them up there. That is what they should. They shouldn't even come out, so that the person thumb printing will not have the cost to raise his or her ballot paper up to show the polling agent, I mean, the party agent, that I have voted for your party, therefore I've rubbed your back. You have to rub my back when I come out. So that alone, this is what the Labour Party should insist, because what we want to do is to cut out the avenues that we enhance rigging as much as possible. So these things should be if Labour Party members are listening or whatever, this is what they should insist on, so that there is nothing like rigging it or vote buying from the ballot during the polling, at the polling booth. Otherwise, the idea of giving people money or promising them a so amount of money if you vote for our party should not arise. Kachi, I think if I missed any on that, I think these are the two key
Yeah.
issues I needed to touch on.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. CM. I'm going to come back to you shortly. I want to say thank you to everyone here today and the viewers, the people on the panel, and the comment section. Thank you, guys. Please help us to like and share this broadcast if you're yet to do so. Thank you so much, and God bless you. The last person we have here for today before we move to the next round is Mr. Pansat. Mr. Pansat, good evening to you. Thank you very much. But then I wonder why you guys are not touching on the fact that I asked a question. I said the video we shared, right? The spokesperson, I don't think it's a spokesperson, I think it was the former media something, his name is Mr. Collar something, I'm not very sure. It's like the former media person for PDP. They were talking about privatization. That was like Atiku's roadmap to building the economy of Nigeria: privatization of refinery, privatization of this, privatization of that. I was asking you guys that. What do you guys think about privatization, especially of refinery in Nigeria? Do you think is a proper roadmap into boosting the economy back again? I'm not an economist. I'm not, so that's why I threw the question to you guys, because I would really like to hear what you guys think
Okay,
about that
okay,
particular one.
okay. Let me have a go.
Okay,
Um,
you will do it on the next round. Let
o-
Mr. Panzer just finish, and we'll do it the next round, please. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Panzer.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would normally would even yield to CM because he makes so much sense when he talks. But let me go ahead and go, and then since there's a second round, I'll be all ears. I'll wax my ear to hear what he has to say. Let me say hello to you. You're doing a fantastic job as always, Catchy. I came in because I heard Two NIGERIAN speak, and he nailed it this time. He made the kind of progress that I'm hopeful. If we get to Nigeria to be with us 100%, we're going to win this election. Now, the rest of the panelists, I greet you, those in the chat room. I will answer your question last to kick it off, and then CM and others will take it from there. But let me just say that the spirit we have to go into this election with, I'm not seeing it. We have to take our country back from these people. If a small guy like this Oshiomhole, somebody who should be ashamed of himself, I mean, he comes and talk and we're shaking. He doesn't understand that we're going to take our country back. Why are we going into this election? It's not like the other ones. It's not like the other ones. This revolution started after, even during Jonathan. Part of the reason he lost unfairly, because it's relatively speaking, you're gonna jump from frying pan to fire. That's where I faulted. But those who were criticizing him, including I'm gonna be using some direct words here. The Western Nigeria, Yorubas, they had a point that there's a lot of corruption. But where they missed it is, who were you going from? You're gonna go from Jonathan to Buhari? Really? Come on. That made no sense. So that's the fault they had there. Now, if we had somebody else, Jonathan was not a Jeffersonian Democrat, no, but he was a gentleman, he was a civilian. So let's just, my main thing is that I'm trying to talk to Nigerians from all over. Okay, they could come up with whatever. They don't want us to send money home, trying to divide us, those in diaspora, those at home, and all that nonsense. But don't rig the election. We have to draw the line on that. And we're not going to be listening to shameful people like Oshiomhole, wireless. What does he have to offer Nigerians? He brought in a power, a political party with widespread corruption, heightened insecurity, worsening economic problems that we had under Jonathan, petrol scarcity, epileptic power supply. Sometimes the grid falls completely. Academic paralysis in Nigerian universities with ASU and all this is going on. The APC shouldn't even show their face in the public. While people are getting killed, A lot of the Chibok girls, sure, the incident happened before they came into power, but they're the one who did it when they were in the opposition. And they have done nothing to return those girls. You go and you pack up girls from a secondary school, 200, almost 300 girls, and they're releasing them by one. All right. So in the party right now, because I know there's a lot of people waiting to speak, but look, our people are getting killed. I want that to settle in. We cannot ply our roads. We cannot go to the farms. Our country is being ruined. Who are ruining it? Short idiots like Oshiomhole, Rufai, small people. Now, if you look at the numbers numerically, they don't have 1,000 people. We're not supposed to work too hard on this. Our principal, Peter Obi, has made some gains so far. He's been unrelenting in telling us the two major themes in this dialogue. That we have bad leadership. Once we get the leadership right, that we have a lot of things. And that we're going to change from consumption to production. He's focused on these two broad areas in the dysfunction of the country. He hasn't gone into the corrosive corruption that is in the country. He hasn't gone there, and that's understandable. He hasn't gone into detail about the security of the country, how he's going to deal with that, because apparently in all polity, they don't really talk about that. So that you're just going to have to trust that he's the kind of person that can do that. But this election is not going to be about he said, she said with a lot, we come in here, we discuss that Oshiomhole threatened us because we're setting Obi to be where if Seun Kuti come and say something, or what is that guy, this guy's name that is spokesman for Tinubu, while he's also some kind of minister of labor and all kinds of things in the government. If he says something or Sowore says something about P2B, we start shaking. Who are these people talking? Who are they? They could say whatever they want. If Seun Kuti smokes Igbo and he comes and he talks nonsense just because he used to say something nice before, then we're gonna.
Seun Kuti was just airing its views. He was just saying who he thinks is the best candidate. And personally, everybody has the right to choose the candidates that they want to support.
No,
Right?
I'm not quarreling with that. What I'm saying is that what is that topic? He could say whatever he wants. He could choose whoever he wants. That's not a topic to me, because we're not in that kind of spirit. Anybody, even if Falana, if he's sitting on the fence and is pointing to be condescendingly and say, hey, this election, don't talk to Obasanjo or you're going to lose. Fuck him. He's not going to lose because he talks to Obasanjo. Listen to other things he's saying. You're going to come in there with disrespect because, of course, Falana is a good guy. We want him on our side. But he's one of these code words that they were doing during Jonathan that brought us where we are now. They have no shame. Who are you to come and tell P2B who he's going to talk to? Get the hell out of here. Don't vote for him. He talks to whoever he wants to talk to, including Obasanjo. And anybody else that will listen. Because you've got a country set up where you got all these gods sitting there. You have to talk to them. Because if you were really running an egalitarian system, a country based on what's best for Nigeria, who wants to talk to Obasanjo? But that's not what you're doing. You got a country set up. So you're going to have to deal with the country you have, not the country you wish you had. You have to talk to those people. But you come in there because your supporters, they know that all you have to do is go there and talk down on the Labour Party. It's a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle because look at the three major candidates that we have. Obviously, that's all you have to. Are you looking at Sowore? I like Sowore, but he's never got nothing to do with this election this time around. Never had one before. They gave him 33,000 votes. He said, hey, I was rigged out. Reluctantly, he said this, maybe many months, maybe many years after they did that to him. He never came to those who gave him his mandate and said to them, hey, look, I was rigged out. And fight for those, and try to expose those who rigged them out. Being an activist is not just talking nonsense. You have to fight for something you believe. If you believe that you got more than 33,000 and you were rigged out, you have to fight that. If you believe that the youths are with you and the government is prosecuting you for what the hell they're prosecuting him for again? Whatever it is about. What is it? Can somebody remind me? What is Sowore being prosecuted for? So if you know you didn't do that, and the British embassy sitting there, American embassy sitting there, and they did that to you, and you come out, you have to touch on the things too NIGERIA touched on before. Our problem is not in the koboko. It's in who's flogging you with that koboko. An activist is not somebody who comes and insults any prominent Igbo. Then you're an activist. Our activists should fight the British imperialism we have in the country, who are letting these people, using them to dominate us. It's called neo-colonialism. How could you be prosecuted for something you didn't do, deprived of your rights? You come out and then just continue trying to run for office, knowing that they're going to rig you out again. You don't do anything about it. So I know that it's probably time for me to end it. I had a lot of things to say. About the character of those who are trying to impede what we're doing. But mainly, I want to talk about the spirit we have to go into this election. Oshiomhole, no matter what he says, he's an idiot. I know this platform, I'm sorry about that. They don't like anybody calling people names here. But it's outrageous. I'm not the kind of guy that's outraged and I won't say something about it.
Mr. Fansal, please caution your language, please. Thank you.
I did already, and let me say that again. Just because of this platform, because I'll call them worse, face to face. So they think we are nice guys. That's the only thing they're betting on. Oh, if Peter Obi says something hostile, like yesterday, he's pointing out that the ports are being organized in a way that it doesn't spread across the country like it's done in most countries. You know, just because he said that, he pointed it out, somebody posted something. So you're gonna, he can't say anything. He cannot be upset. That's why I said earlier, he's not a saint, and if he's a saint, I don't want him to. I'm not gonna vote for him. We're gonna have to deal with the country we have since they've set up all these people, okay? And the kind of people he's gonna be fighting, he's gonna have to take this country back with the people. We, the people, is who they should be dealing with. That's who they're gonna deal with. If they rig this election, we're gonna bring justice to Nigeria from our side. They could shut us off from donating money. They could do whatever, but we're Nigerians. And those in Nigeria are not more Nigerian than we are, because it's by design that they have us out of Nigeria. So they think it's gonna be theirs. No, most Nigerians I know are patriotic Nigerians. Not even Nigeria, Africans. So your fun is going to be over very soon if you don't play the card right, having a peaceful, transparent election, respectful election. All your sins are going to be coming up, and you're going to get your patterns this time. All of us are going to make sure of that. If you didn't win this election, you are not going to govern Nigeria. It may take a few months, it may take a year, but you're going to be out of there. So let me just say that as a spirit, I want our all youth, and not just youth, every well-meaning Nigerian. This is not just about youth, because how could you actually be in Nigeria and allow what's happened in the last 7 years to go just like that? And then you're going to have the same people coming and talking, opening their mouth. Somebody like Oshiomhole that went out there, married some white girl that's bigger than he is, spending money, dancing for 7 years, having people killed. And then when we bring a decent Nigerian to take over, make the country better, you think you're going to be winking, doing dog whistle, because you think he can't talk, because if he talks, you're going to make him IPOB, or he's going to be from South. But you're going to find out this time that all Nigerians, every Nigerian that's decent, patriotic, know that it's time to stop messing around, that we have a good candidate that's going to take Nigeria to the next level. And it's not a panacea. It doesn't end with Peter Obi. Peter Obi is not the silver bullet. He's just going to get us to where the bleeding stops, corruption stops, plug the holes, so we can then talk about things that any country should be talking about. Our constitution. That's coming. He may not mention it. If he doesn't do it when it's time for him to do it, then we're going to replace him with somebody else. He's not a panacea, but he's absolutely who we need right now. And we're going to support him. And what is this? KMO? Okay, look, KMO is up. The jig is up. You can be intimidating people in Nigeria because you're SAN. Do you know what a SAN is? SAN is like sand all over the world. You're just an attorney, you're a lawyer. Comes 100 a dozen. So if you get up there on the pedestal and you're trying to insult Peter Obi, and maybe he's not going to respond to you, because first of all, you're insignificant, you're an idiot. You fooled everybody. We thought you were a good guy, and you went over the other side. But I'm telling you, when this election comes, the spirit is going to be that we're going to take our country back. It's just that it's against international law, else we should be doing it by force. So we're going to please the international community by showing them, hey, look, we did everything. But you should be ashamed of the people you're representing, KMO, Oshiomhole. So I'll end it right there. And when I get a chance, and I'll discuss that question.
Family. I know him. I know his village came from, his family house. I know everything about him. Likewise, all those, the Mariawe and others. We came from almost the same area. They have to be careful. They have to be careful. If not, as Peter Obi dey emerge as the president of Nigeria 2023, instead of us to start today, strategize as we want to build the economy, we will first collect all those their property where they don't first steal from us first. They should all give us chance to start working on our future. The one that they stole before, we will leave it for them for a while. It's not that we are not going to ask them. We will leave it for them for a while. That is the only message I just want to send to Oshiomhole. I hear the panel. Good evening, my people.
Thank you so much, Mr. Felix, for that wonderful submission right there. Let's move straight to NAIJA. NAIJA, please, you have the floor for the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the time, and thank you for the reception I got, which is a little bit surprising because sometimes you guys surprise me. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Okay, from what I gather, the privatization talk, I think there is no, I don't have any visceral opposition to privatization as long as it is done properly with these. That's very very strong this thing guidelines. Because the last thing we want is selling our country through the back. My concern is that some of all these people, they will take the company, the company, and just be a figurehead, and then you have foreign entities actually another backdoor way of filtering all our resources again overseas. And this is why when you want to do these type of things, you have to have serious rules in terms of employing locals and ensuring that the locals are not just cannon fodder. They are actually on the professional level and the board level of these organizations. So that eventually, if we like, we can transition them out and then we own these institutions. And whatever we do has to always focus on enriching our own people and enhancing their capacity and their level of these fields. And so, from that point of view, I don't have any direct issue with privatization. And but from the point of view of Atiku, clearly the statement he made, because I was one of those people that saw it, in the about 5 years ago. So when he said it on the news on TV that he was going to enrich his own people, I was like, that is just the kind of stuff Nigerians don't want to hear, and that's the kind of stuff nobody wants to hear. You are controlling a lot of resources in the country, and you're talking about using it to enrich your own people. In reality, though, this is what is likely to happen. Because when you hear about privatization, the people that are capable of buying the companies, whom are they? They all belong to the same clubs. Their children attend the same schools. They attend the same parties and stuff like that. So you are bound to have the elites, this in taking over some of all these institutions. The question is who controls them and whether they are going to run it on behalf of the country properly. The good thing about privatization is that if you don't perform very well, you fail. And some other company fills the space that you are occupying. It just has to have good guidelines. I don't have any privatization, and I don't think I would trust someone like Atiku to conduct it because of his history. He doesn't have a very good history of doing this. If anything, he has a history of enriching himself and not being good for Nigerians at all. And from what I gather, he's involved in the generator companies and all kinds of companies that are actually detrimental to the country's this in the development. And these are for me, these are the areas I really oppose, because these people that bring generators in, then why you are bringing generator and you don't have any plans to have the country have a sustainable and 24/7 power supply, would you? And that is that's conflict of interest. You are trying to ensure the country is not functioning. And I have an issue with that, and I think Nigerians should have an issue with such people. So on the whole, I won't trust him. Someone like Peter Obi will probably run it more productively, because Peter Obi seems to have an instinct for retaining the upper hand in any deal that he gets involved in. As a matter of fact, you have to say that you can argue that Igbo. I don't want to stereotype Igbo people. Point is that Igbo man doesn't like to go into any deal he doesn't profit from, and maybe it's a shame that Nigerians haven't elected enough Igbo people into office, because generally when they go and sign up on anything, they want to get something out of it. And Peter Obi exhibits some of those traits. This is why they call him stingy and all the rest, because he doesn't want to give up anything. And so maybe that's kind of if we sign up any deal, we have to always check the line, the deal, what it involves, whether it is benefiting our people. Like this one, I heard about what's his name, Dangote, the refinery that he was building, that he employs so many foreigners. If you are empowering a lot of foreigners and you are paying all the money that should be going to the Nigerian youths and developing their capacity, how is that helping the country? I hope that changes. It's something that one has to watch. On that, if just only on that, I would say, yeah, it's the rules. That's what matters, and we have to pay attention to that. For Nigerians, I think the general public, they don't care about. I think that's kind of detail they will want to look into. This is why I said We have to have think tanks. We do have some organizations in Nigeria that claim to try to reinforce government integrity or transparency or some kind of stuff like that. But we need more of them that have more bite, and so that they can be able to understand and question some of the deals that are being signed even before they are signed, because some of all these deals happen before we even know about it, and that is something we don't want. How many people were consulted before they even sold some of the privatization that happened in the with most Nigerians were hardly consulted when they signed those things. And maybe part of these processes should also include the Nigerians having a say in some of the deals that they are signing. They give us a few options, like objective in an exam. We say, that guy, we don't like this one, we don't like that one. We pick the one we like. The person that has the person that comes across as being or the company that comes across as being the most beneficial for the people, that's the one the people are likely to select. And if not true, because the House of Assembly, they can be compromised, but the people cannot. You see, this is why I always insist on the people. The people cannot be compromised. If they have a reason why this country, we can't have a very, very efficient system of referendums, that we can be doing it regularly. For a country that is very diverse as Nigeria, and as they have so many suspicion against each other, the best thing to be doing when you are making big decisions is consulting the people. And I keep saying, if the people are involved, we are less likely to make a mistake, because at least when the people make a mistake, they take responsibility then. Now it's not on their leaders. They are the ones that have decided. And I think Switzerland, they do this quite often. Almost every major decision they make, they bring in the people. And I think that is something like Nigeria needs for Nigeria to do that. Nigeria cannot be governed like a kind of country that is governed by a dictator or some kind of too powerful leader. Nigerians don't like leaders that are too powerful. They rebel against them. They say they are favoring their tribes or whatever. So we want to be, the people have to have a say. When we vote something and we say this is what we want, Nigerians will embrace it. That's what I believe. So in decision making, things like that, when we want to privatize stuff, we have to have the people get involved. Transparency. I can't, this is part of the transparency when you have the people making decisions. I can't overstate the importance of this in the context of Nigeria. If Nigeria is to survive, transparency is extremely. Our politicians are very good at dividing our people so that they are not accountable. When they commit a crime, they accuse them of something. They say, oh, because I'm Southerner, that's why you're doing this to me. Oh, because I'm a Northerner, that's why you're doing this to me. Because of lack of transparency. We need to have transparency so that everybody is accountable. Any leader that goes into office and telling you that, oh, I'm going to enforce transparency, but I'm not going to do it in a way that it brings power to the people, don't trust them. If they are saying they're not going to make this in government accounts, they are going to keep it in the dark, don't trust them. If they tell you that the way they collect our crude oil from the wells and all the rest, they cannot make it transparent so that the people can actually see it, police stations can actually get feed of what is going on there, don't trust them.
Okay.
This is why we have the technology to monitor everything our politicians are doing. And if you can monitor everything they are doing, the power belongs to the people then. Because we are in the dark, we don't see anything, do we? Do we know where the oil? No. Has anybody seen where oil is being drilled from the ground? Nobody has seen it. We don't know anything that is happening. And I believe when we start fixing that, we have all the technologies to fix all these things. Then the people will feel like, oh, you know what? Yeah, now we are in charge. We know what is going on there. And whatever decision that is to be made, you will see that Nigerians will sign up. And believe me, I know the energy of Nigerians, right? For how many decades we wasted that productive energy. And it's time that we start using it for something positive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. NAIJA. I'm going to go straight to the next person here, which is Mr. Chooks. Please, you have 5 minutes to make your submission and your closing remark. Thank you.
Okay, thank you once again for bringing me on. I'm going to go straight to the question of privatization.
You actually talked on privatizing the refinery, right? So
yeah. I think NIGERIA has done justice to this very question. because in 2019, I think I had Atiku said I'm actually coming to sell off Nigeria to his friends and family, and we laughed off it as a joke then, but with what is going on, we know that he actually means it. Look at the fights they are having in their party. Why? Because it's all about friends and families. How can you, in a party that you call a national party, all the juicy positions is in the hands of individuals that come from the same area or practice the same kind of thing. I mean, this man, I guess, was in his regime that they privatized the NEPA. I think NIPOS, or I don't even know what it's called now. And what is the success? Do we have any success from that? It is because of the way they did it. Because they don't do it with good faith. They did it just to enrich their friends and families, like he said. Because if they do it to benefit Nigerians, they should have put a strong institution to monitor this and to make sure it works. Just like Tuna just said, how many is our Nigerians working for these organizations that they privatized? Who are they? What are they doing? It's laughable when people in their private capacity, they can do something and become successful. But when it comes down to our national issues or our national goals, they become complacent. This is the issue. Privatization itself is not a bad thing. It's not. Because when people are handling government-owned institutions, like, I don't care. When you privatize it, people who put their money there should be able to put those things the way, they can manage their personal things. And it will benefit everybody. Because the aim of privatization is to guarantee jobs, guarantee sustainability of whatever they privatize. But in Nigeria's case, it is the opposite. Like Tuna just said, if we cannot get access to data that concerns all this privatization, I'm against it. Because we should be able to know who owns it, even how did the person make the money to buy this, or if it is foreign, where are they coming from? What is their ambition? What is their goals? Because if you're coming to take over any company in the UK today from outside the country, you will have to table all this. They will have to see it, and the people who are in charge will have to vote on it. See if what you bring on the table is aligning with their own vision. If it doesn't, goodbye. That is how it's done. And I believe if at all we're gonna make anything out of NMPC or whatever they call it, that he wants to privatize, yes, it has to come. The privatization have to come there, because for how many years? For over 60 years, the government have been managing it, and nothing comes out of it. How can we say that a country like Nigeria have no refinery? How can we say that? Now, if they privatize it now, they might even give it to somebody, just like they did to Dangote, to manage the way he likes. Then he takes his friend from overseas, come down there and do whatever they like. So I am not against privatization, but it must be checked by citizens. If it is not so, let us not privatize anything. Let us be looking at it that way, because we cannot continue to allow them to steal our money, allow them to do whatever they like with our money. I use the floor here. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chooks, for that submission right there. I'm going to go straight to the next person we have here, which is Samson. Mr. Samson, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. First of all, it's like you asked a question which is not so clear to me. Are you talking about are they going to privatize NAPC or refinery? Please, just let me know so that I will know.
Refinery, because refinery, according to them, that's an
Okay,
economy, a roadmap to economy
okay.
boost in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. If I may ask, does Nigeria have a refinery? What a refinery of a oil refinery or wooden refinery? What kind of refinery? Does Nigeria have refinery? Can you privatize what you don't have? I don't understand that way because every time they will always tell us that they are exporting. So I don't know. We cannot be importing what we are doing, what we are refining. We cannot be importing it. So I don't know the kind of refinery which they are going to privatize. And if you see this, their privatization of a thing, we will go to where you find out about privatization in a sincere nation. Let me not use the word Western word. In a sincere nation, the thing privatization is very, very good, helpful to the nation. But when it comes to our great country, Nigeria, it turns another thing. This electricity, which we are battling till now, the problem lies on this same privatization. Whatsoever they just dip their hands into, irrespective of privatizing, they will just take advantage of it. So I don't believe if we are to talk of anything to privatize something, it should not come from this Atiku Abubakar, because a thief cannot be telling us, sorry, I'm not calling him a thief, but I'm just making a reference here. A thief cannot be telling the people that he's going to set up a roadblock. The kind of roadblock is going to set up, which is to finish everything of his plan. So my beloved nation and my beloved people, we should always know this, that if we are looking for a change, or if something that if reasonable thing should happen to that nation, Nigeria, it is not all this kind of people or all this kind of their mindset and all. The problem we have in cement dealing today, because they gave the license and they just leave it to one man's hand to control, which is Dangote. Now, nobody can afford, average Nigeria cannot afford one bag of cement because of these problems. So they know their friends, they know their targets. These people are not just really coming to do something, to help that nation. It's just business as usual. So they have these plans for it. It's like people are going for visibility studies. So before they come, the time they are saying we think they are campaigning for the office, they are just doing this visibility study to know how they are going to enrich themselves, their family, their friends, and anyone that are around them that wish them well. So please, I don't believe on anything like this from this set of people, unless when we have a change of power now, which we are fighting for now, if we have it on our hands, then we will now know what to do, not these people that has placed us on this mess we are today. They are still telling us how they are still going to just lavish the remaining parts of it. So I don't really have more to say, but in all this, I don't know if Nigeria have refinery, let alone the
Thank
one they are going to privatize. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samson. I don't know if Igbo Dying Press is ready, because I called on you before, but you were not available. If you're not ready, I'm just going to move straight to the next person, please. Thanks to everyone here. Thanks for your time and support. God bless you all. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Mr. CM, please, you have the floor for the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
Um, yeah, thank you, Kachi. Well, privatization of refineries. Um, in fact, um, I used to think that I'm annoyed when I discuss Nigeria's situation until I listened to Pansat. So I have to take back seat in terms of being annoyed. Anyway, regarding privatization, I think what Nigeria has really nailed it, the pros and cons, even mainly the pros. We know what it entails, but the thing about it is, the thing about this privatization, first of all, my addition will be Atiku should not be the proponent, the person that will handle it, for obvious reasons, until he comes clean on the previous ones he did under Obasanjo. In fact, that was even why Obasanjo said the money Atiku stole. There's a video clip making the rounds of how much it cost to build a Delta Steel rolling, I think Alaja, let me just say Alaja Wari, the one at Alaja Wari, and how much Atiku sold it. Then aluminum smelting something at Ekorabasi in Akwa Ibom, and how much Atiku sold it. Even newsprint at Ukwiboku still in Akwa Ibom. So these were federal government industries put in place to generate job, and then help us to grow our skill and all the good things that will come from them. But you know, there we are now. So which brings me to this point of privatization on its own is not a bad idea, but it depends on the person who is making the privatization. So why I would like somebody like P2B to go on it is this: if he comes in, because the refineries are practically unworkable, is he will look into it and make sure that Nigeria is not defrauded. That is the first thing. The amount it should be sold it will be competitive, because there are still some good assets left in all those refineries. So he will look into it and make sure that you are not selling the future of the country for nothing. That's one. Then you bring a legislation that will also guide the operation when whoever must have bought it. It's not that, for instance, in UK, you can come and put a telephone company. We have one thing like Leica, Lebara, there are a lot of them. But there's what they call the communications department or something. We give you the guideline what to do, so that you do not unnecessarily, or due to your evil machination, you shortchange the people. Because in the end, the government is interested that you do not rip the people off. So you can only do this through legislation. Apart from selling it at a competitive price, then you make sure that whoever buys it, you give a guideline. If you are going to employ people, make sure, even if it's 50-50 or 70-30 in favor of the citizens of the country, these are one of the things you put in place. And then the board, who will be in charge of the board and everything. So legislation should be strong to protect the interest of the country. So in this case, somebody who is selfish or who is out, very dubious, you know, to undo the country, should not be talking of privatization. So I believe that P2B, because of what he did in Anambra and all the examples, some, personal example he has shown, should be, if he comes in and is doing it, I will have faith in the yes that this government will do it to the best of the country. And then, apart from all these things, everything should be transparent from day one, so that we know the procedure what is happening, how it is. Granted that not all of us might be interested in following it up, but the few that we follow it up will be our eyes and ears in it. So these are because in the end, is the people's interest. Probably there may be other factors that should be considered that I may not bring up here, but the whole thing is that it must be to the interest of the country because these are assets. As simple as these are assets. The way Nigerians look after their cars, if you tell a Nigerian, park your car, he said, no, armed robbers might take it, or this, oh, let me go and put security so that when you come close to it, it will alarm. Because they feel that you have to protect it. It's a property the person owns. The same thing with any of our individual properties. So because it's now a national asset, you don't care. You just rip the people off and then go away in the hope that we won't find out. No, you shouldn't. So, if talking of privatization again, one thing I would also like to bring in is monopoly. Because when you are privatizing something, you might even make it that okay. Let me give an instance. There was a time some supermarkets in UK wanted to merge. The people rose against it, or even the parliament. They said no. Say if they have 6 or 7 good supermarkets and 3 or 4 want to merge, they said no. They will start to create monopoly. Before you know it, they will swallow the rest and then start to fix price arbitrarily. Even when in a country like UK, you know that everything is under check. You know, you can't just fool the people. All they need to do is to write a petition or raise an whatever, a case against you. BBC journalists will go and do it. Or they call it undercover. You won't know. You know, it's a journalist with a very hidden camera, film everything happening there, and then make a broadcast, and you are in for it. So we must try and guard against monopoly. For instance, if you get to Nigeria now, the cost of houses, rent is so high relative to the earning power of the people. Then you think of how much people will tell you, can you build a house now? You know things are very expensive. Take, for instance, the basic thing like cement. How can you, in a country of 200 million people with our diversity, Dangote is the person in charge of cement? Now they added Bua, and these are people from the then eBay to used to have cement in Port Harcourt, Eastern Balkan, then in Kalagu Cement. You used to have a Benue Cement Company in Boku, yeah, Ashaka Cement, then the one in Agene, I think Agene bought Okbela in Edo State. You must try, you see, and the hand that Dangote bought all this. It shouldn't be. If it's a country like UK, they will say no. Dangote, you can buy Benue Cement Company, buy Ashaka or one. They look for a consortium to buy the rest so that that competitiveness and then choice will be there. Because if you are the person buying them, and in the end, Dangote is just rebagging, like I had, it's rebagging. He will import the cement, the dust, and then rebag it in Nigeria and be making exorbitant profit. Only one person. Even you can imagine selling Dangote cement in Nnewi when he beto is from Nnewi and his own is not working. So when you look at these things, all this chronism should stop. That is part of what kills entrepreneurship, and P2B knows because he said corruption kills entrepreneurship, it kills economic growth, and then some other things. So when we're talking of privatization, we have to also include the monopoly. In a capitalist country or anywhere, you don't operate monopoly in anything at all. In anything. All you need to tell me is hear me say, okay, let me be in charge of giving pure water to Anambra State alone. I will be a billionaire. Just give me the right. Only me will supply pure water. Only. Why would even if I'm making a 10 I mean 5 naira or 2 naira gain on each bag of pure water? Do you know what it means to operate it for 1 year? Everybody we want it must be me. So we have to look into it as well. I think what Labour should do, part of helping Nigeria, is you open up the space. The other day we talked about opening up the seaport in Warri, Sapele, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Oron, open up everywhere so that there will be competition and then people will feel happy so that if you don't need this, you take this for obvious reasons. You know, so privatization on its own is not a bad idea, but it depends on how sincere is the person doing it. That's why people will be skeptical. Nitel, what happened to it? Nobody knew. Okay, it was sold, it was privatized, nothing. All those things keep hearing. So it's just like feeding the cronies. So in the end, it means that you're acquiring a national asset for nothing. And then you use it again to oppress the people. So that shouldn't be. to round up, I will prefer a situation whereby it will be made clear. Probably there may be even be opinion pool on this type of thing. Go to the. I mean, you cannot sell a national asset just to benefit some few cronies and then expect them to operate at a profit against us. It's not done. That's why MTN, like I had one time, they can charge anything they like, do whatever they like, because the interest of the government of the day is not there. All they want is give us our own court. So I feel that the coming of P2B, it may not be the Messiah, but one thing I've learned from the little researches I've made is that any leader, no matter how well intentioned you are, there's something they call love for the country, like Lee Kuan Yew had for Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew will go all the way to negotiate with the British people, different companies. When he's negotiating, he's thinking of Singapore, Singapore, Singapore. What is the country going to gain from it? Even when he stand a chance of making profit for his own private, he said no. So until somebody loves the country, the leader loves the country. If I'm to say it, I stand to be corrected anyway. P2B loved Anambra State. That's why he did a lot of things, saved money, kept for them, did all those. So if he can bring that love to the national level, whatever he's doing, he think, oh, no. This way it is not for me. I want the country to benefit. Let us save it for our future generations so that when they are growing up, we use it. So it is that love that will make you not to be corrupt, not to think of yourself first. But if you don't have it, because this, even if you bring a Western capitalist, they will always tell you, why are you even this? Let's put some money into your Swiss account bank for you, or do this, help you. You will say, no, you are thinking of your country. And if they should find out that you are thinking of your country, they will rate you high, although they may not like it. But in the end, they will know that, yes, Nigeria is on the march to progress. So that love
Okay.
from the leader is very, very critical. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. CM. The love for your people is very, very important.
It's true.
Thanks, Mr. CM. Let's move straight to Mr. Pansat, please. Mr. Pansat.
Yes, thank you very much. Well spoken, CM, and everybody who spoke before him. On this issue, when we're talking about privatization, we're talking about Atiku, obviously, because obviously there's nothing wrong with privatization that is well designed and with sequenced reforms, implementation of complementary policies, right? Creation of regulatory capacity, and then, of course, paying attention to poverty, social impacts, communication, and equity in the country. So privatization sounds like a big word. So let me just say, privatization now just to transfer business, industry, or service way they for government before, you transfer them to private ownership and control. And there are many reasons why those who do it properly do that. Privatization is a good thing. If it's done with that fairness and those concerns that I just listed earlier. So since I only have 5 minutes, let me just say this is what, forget about Atiku. Who's going to give Atiku to come and privatize something? Nigeria, una know they here. If saying only you and Atiku day for this world, you go carry your things where you give for your government, give Atiku, make it go privatize for you. Think about that. Anyway, Peter Obi, our principal, has already demonstrated the way privatization is supposed to work. Right? At the end of the war, in 1970, the former East Central State took over schools because of the war, obviously. It's the end of the war. So the state took over all those schools. And then by the time Peter Obi came in, just fast forward to 2011, it was just crazy. The delinquency being the issue this time, not the money, but the delinquency. So Peter Obi, privatized those schools. That's 1,040 of them. He gave it back to the original owners of the churches, Catholic churches, and stuff like that. And then gave them the money to run it, because it's something that you have to do the study. You have to involve all thinking people to do it and know how much it's going to take. What are you trying to gain? Are you privatizing, in this case, the brewery, I mean, the refinery, so that it will run more efficiently? What is the goal? Or to make more money? Or what? To stop costing the state some money? But in the case of the schools, it was curbing delinquency. So he gave them $6 billion, and that's 2011 currency. And they shared it amongst the Catholic Church, Anglican Church, and the remaining government institutions. That's privatization. That's the way to do it. Now, but no matter what Atiku brings, nobody should give him anything to do as privatization. If you read, let's say you're searching for a job, somebody has to go and look at your boss or your former employer and say, yeah, waiting over there. How this guy be? He say they do this. Waiting to go talk. Obasanjo wrote a book that he called My Watch, and Obasanjo is the one who brought Atiku from Adamawa to the federal government as vice president. Nobody knows who he is, even though he had just won election over there as governor. But if you look at what Obasanjo was emphasizing, that book in 2015, there was a discussion on that. He says that as soon as he was elected, Atiku was scheming to remove Obasanjo from office and take over as president. He goes as far as making allegations that the first person who bribed our National Assembly with, I don't know if it's $5,000 or $15,000, but let's use the conservative value of 5,000, was Atiku, trying to remove Okadibo. I believe that's who was. He was trying to install Chuba Okadibo as the Senate president at that time. And you see all the things that Obasanjo wrote about Atiku that look so benign, like he never wanted to accept Obasanjo as president. He's looking down on Southerners, Christians. Now, his activity, if you look into his soul, forget about the fact that he sold some things to himself. Well, you could say in Nigeria, that's just a common thing. You probably would do it yourself because of the way we operate the country. Is a strong man that has to come in there, or elderly. That's what you want as president. It's not the law. We're supposed to be a country of laws, not men. No idol. Why should we be debating these guys? If you look at the soul of Atiku, I mean, this guy's got his hands on everything, including herdsmen. He's got cattle running around the country. He's got his hands on importation. At least it's alleged to, and I believe those who allege that. So what is the trick? You go, you sell industries to somebody, instead of just making it efficient and maybe gouging us because it's monopolistic, you actually do it in a way that our people, the consumers, the citizens, don't have that thing. So then you can, for example, power. If you bought a power plant or whatever, you cripple it so that then Nigerians will be buying a generator. Come on. Nigerians on craziness never do. You don't have power. You don't have water. What do you think is underground? Almost everywhere in Nigeria is water underground, not even 100 feet. You don't have water. You don't have power. Things that people in England and America had in the 19th century, 18th century. We're small countries that are smaller than us. Petty countries they get long time ago. You did there, you no get power. Come on. And the same corporates will come, they will be debating it. Because just one allegation that I'm making here, if our principal had one of those, he'll be done. If it's alleged that he tried to remove the president undemocratically and it shows in his character. Do you think Peter Obi has a chance? No, he doesn't. All he has to do is just have one of the characteristics of these people. You are importing generators in our country, and you cripple our country without power. What a shame. You're not even the proud Nigerian, man. Come on. I can never do anything like that in this world. So I come out, I'll be talking to maybe a Mexican. We don't have power.
Okay, Mr.
Yeah.
Panza.
So let me just conclude by saying that. Anyway, I don't want to make your job difficult, but I'm just saying the spirit we should go into this thing is to finally take care of these problems. Let's fix it. Remove these people. We don't have to talk too much about it. We don't have to talk too much about it. Atiku will never be the president of Nigeria, period. It's not a Nigerian.
Okay.
Tinubu will not be our president because he's not well. And we don't know where the hell he comes from. We don't know his name. What are we doing? We're not going to do this by being a gentleman. Both of those people are not going to be the president. Now, those pushing them, if it's primordial, tribalistic, bring Sowore. Okay, let him compete against Obi. I think Obi will still beat him, but at least you brought somebody. Bring, what's the name of the vice president? Bring him. Don't bring Tinubu because you have no respect. And I expect somebody to be debating you on that. Look at your candidate. Look. They are not going to be our president no matter what they do. How do you know election is rigged? You know it by Atiku winning it or Tinubu winning it. Then it's rigged. There's nothing else you need to know. And we're not going to accept it. So you know now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pansat. Let's move straight to All My Yes Corner. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, good evening. I was thoroughly enjoying the panel. I wanted to hop off because I've been very busy, guys. So, but I've been listening in. I even listened, I think the one yesterday. Iron Finest brought down the house. My goodness. She set the entire table on fire. I really enjoyed that one for yesterday. But anyways, yeah, I don't have anything else to add, to be honest. The panelists, everybody has brought very, very great points, but I have questions. And I just want to throw out these questions to everybody, including those in session, especially those in comment section. Like, Nigeria is on the brink. Honestly, it really hurts when I see the news and I see what's happening. There's the professor, or is it a lecturer in Uniben, that just unalived himself because there was no money, he wasn't paid salaries, nothing. So the guy just felt hopeless and felt there was no need for him to continue to live on. He lived himself. Now, Nigeria, for the first time in my life, even though growing up, Nigeria has never offered me anything, and I've never really enjoyed anything in Nigeria, but it saddens me to see the faces of children now littered over social media saying Nigeria, there's a hunger and poverty such that Nigeria has never known. In the faces of Nigeria, in the most richest country. It breaks my heart. I don't know how else to convince Nigerians, every man in Nigeria, to come out en masse and vote. What are we doing about? We have all this information coming out about how these people want to rig the elections, and they're already in the process of doing it. But what's this? What are we really truly doing about it? We have a plan B, because these people are willing to hang on to power regardless. They are willing to do anything. To do anything, to take it back from them, to take it from them literally. Do you have what it takes? Are you ready for that? Because, like play, you know how Nigeria is. I personally, my spirit resists and rejects anything contrary to Peter Obi. Not because of him, not because of his person, because of the movement that has come out of all of this. To be honest with you, my entire being rejects Bat, Atiku, rejects them to the core of who I am. cannot bear the thought of these people coming into power again and perpetrating the same old thing, singing the same old song. We have to have a serious plan B, people. We cannot afford this. There's just too much suffering going on in Nigeria. There's too much. If anything happens, they say we're 200 million. I doubt that very much. That we are a lot of 200 million. Will accommodate you guys. Will accommodate Nigerians. Please, you guys, Nigerians, wherever you are, I beg you, you have to put away your sentiments right now. This is about saving. Whatever you're clamoring for, you're clamoring to be on your, it's not going to happen unless we have a common sense person. These people have shown who they are. What else to hear? Atiku, it's in his name. But the man can't see. Bats don't see at night. The man literally turned Lagos into his personal ATM. People are coming out and defending him. You know, I really, really want us to run like with fire behind our backs and take this back from these people. We cannot afford a day of these people anymore. You guys talking about privatization and the rest of it. Is it not madness? Insulting anyone, no. I'm just using it as an analogy. Is it not madness that only one person has control the commodities that are needed, necessary in a society, and they will come out and call him a billionaire? Please, I have no respect for anyone who they claim to be a billionaire in Nigeria. No, not in the midst of such poverty. You dare not come out and say you're a billionaire. Where? That man, what does he know? I'm not here to insult anybody, but we really need to open our eyes wide. We really need to. We can't afford it. Eh? In Nigeria, I feel like somebody who lives in Nigeria. Every day I wake up, not tune into Nigeria Watch. I can't, because I'm so determined. I'm so hungry. I just want to see that country change, for crying out loud. The suffering is too much. It has turned girls into something else that we've never heard of growing up. We're hearing it now. Nigerian girls are not like that. When did we become? The value system has been wrecked. The men have turned into something else. They've broken the backs of the men. Do you guys know that is doing to generations of people? And remember, even in this madness, there are people still having children. They're giving birth to children in this trauma. Do you know the effect this thing is going to have years from now? Do you know the results of what happened? I listened to this Seun guy yesterday talking about over 20 million are not educated, children who are not educated in Nigeria. And I'm just summarizing, I might be misquoting him, but anyone, please feel free to correct me. And he said, most of those people come from the north. These people are a part of us, for crying out loud. Why don't we help ourselves and help them? Somebody talked about, CM just talked about love. He could not have said it better. How can you rule a people if you don't have their interest at heart? We hear people coming out and saying they want to favor their friends, and people are still clamoring. I don't understand. Make it make sense, Nigerians. What are we doing? Nigerian men used to be very well respected in the world. When you see a Nigerian couple, you're like admiring them. Tell you for free, a lot of the problems people are having in their marriages and everything else that's happening, it's as a direct result of the evil at the helms of leadership in Nigeria. I guarantee you that for free. It's a trickle-down effect. When you have a terrible person with a terrible mindset, surrounded by evil, it will eat into every person that is under them. That is exactly what is happening. That's why we're hearing all these unheard of things, all types, all manner of creepy, crawly things from dark places coming out and doing all kinds of things in Nigeria and slaughtering lives. It is as a direct result of the leadership and the people around it. Today I'm a bit mellow because after listening to the news and everything, I started getting overwhelmed. I was like, I need to take a break. And that's why I'm just listening in the midst of being busy with my own personal stuff, take care of business. Nigerians, I beg you, as many that can hear my voice, begging you guys, take this seriously. I heard when to NIGERIA was saying, to NIGERIA, kudos, try today, well, I have to give you your flowers. Makes sense, baje. Make you continue like that so that people go to hear you. To NIGERIA said, we should make it visible. I could not agree more. Let everybody see what you have to have a leadership that is transparent, for goodness sake. Privatize. Who are you giving it to? Where are they coming from? Which company they don't run before? Who they be? We need to know. What profit have they posted before in their previous place of work? We have fake physicians running in Nigeria, slaughtering people. Guys that they are physicians. Some of them cover gynecologists, some of them as oncologists, all fake. Nigeria has become the hiding place for every creepy crawly. I take God beg now. I beg Nigerians, wherever you hear my voice from, I beg you. They are all we've got. When they talk about Somalia that time when they grew up, they go say, may you chop your food, though. People do when they know they see food chop. They will talk Somalia, they talk other countries. No this to any of these African countries because we're all one. They talk about Syria and the rest of them. The devastation what happened for those countries. If you not let them Nigeria, we look how you see all these people when they do divide. Oh, I want to go. This one, we will see where go. In the midst of the division, even amongst yourselves, divided, you still don't like each other. So kill and so. What are we talking about? It don't matter. If a man go say no, Oshun not be VC for University of Ife. The same Yoruba. We think we they talk. If a man go say no, I'm not an Ambra. But yet we are clamoring which division because we think that it's going to end there, it will get worse. We will just eat. You know when they say animals that eat each other up, that's what it's going to become. No, because we could not let that cause start to happen. Open our eye, open our ear, remove any sentiment for now. Clamor, what's good for you. Do it from a vantage point. Don't do it from a damaged place. Right. As for me and my household, it will be dirty or if my mama they dirty. I'm much more. So I will yield though. I will
Thank
yield.
you. Thank you very much, Omar Skona, for that wonderful submission right there. We have Mr. Charles and we end up the show. Mr. Charles, please, you have your 5 minutes to make your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. I've been listening, honestly. Well, we are talking about privatizing. Actually, if Nigeria, if we have sincere people, giving some of the things to individuals to manage, it's not a bad thing. But because in Nigeria, we don't have sincere people, we don't have people who want to sacrifice. That's why we are all crying. Because in many of civilized societies, most of the basic things like electricity, even airport, all these things, most of them are being managed by city councils. And they are being managed by individuals through city councils and all those things. So, but the problem we have in Nigeria is this. These people that want to private, who are they giving it to? Their friends who can never give account of it, who will always take advantage of Nigerians. That's the problem we have. That's the only problem. Even before Atiku, hasn't he? I thought he privatized most of this thing during time of Obasanjo. He didn't succeed. Why is he talking about it again? That he's coming to privatize? Honestly, well, all these things we are crying. Every one of us is crying. It's about it because our leaders have failed us totally. They have all failed us. That's why we are crying. If we have had a good leader, all these things we can't win, and we have seen them doing what is right. We have seen them doing what is good. Seen them having Nigerians at heart. We can't even argue with them because they have failed. That's why we can't trust any of them anymore. Whatever they say, even if they have good intention, we can't trust them because the one we gave them, they didn't manage it very well before. And again, Nigerians, most of the times, honestly, when I cry so much, I charm myself because these guys, they are doing this thing because no one has ever told them enough is enough. That's why they continue to do. Nigerians, we love life. We don't want to die. Nigerians, we don't want to, make sacrifice. I could remember during NSAS, we all cry, NSAS, Tinubu and his men. They came and slaughtered Nigerians. At the end of the day, we all shouted. At the end of the day, everything ceased. Today, the same Tinubu is coming out to contest for election, presidents, and today there are some people who was affected during that exercise. They have forgotten. Today they are supporting Tinubu. Why? Many of them are supporting him because he's a Yoruba man. Many of them are supporting him because he's their tribal man. Many of them are not supporting him because they are not supporting him because Tinubu has any good intention for Nigeria. They have seen what happened in Lagos, how the only one person turned Lagos to become his private business. How only one person turned Lagos. You can't do anything. Since after 8 years of him being a governor, he was the one who will choose, dictate who becomes Lagos the governor. And since then, he has been doing this. Nobody can say, oh, today Lagos State has become Dubai of Africa. Lagos State cannot be compared with other mega cities in Africa like Nairobi, Johannesburg, and even Egypt. They're not talking of Western world. He was the one in charge that been there. He was there for 8 years. And after 8 years, he was the one dictating and deciding who became the governor. What happened to Lagos? Has it become one of the best that you will go there? You find a very good road network, hospitals, everything is running, no erosion, people live freely, there is security. Has Lagos become such a place? It is no. And people are saying, oh, the same thing who will turn Lagos, Nigeria, like the way he turned Lagos. I don't know what he will turn. I don't know. Or is he coming to turn Lagos, Nigeria, to become the country that he will be deciding who becomes the president after he has finished ruling? I don't know. Nigerians, honestly, I don't know what we are thinking. Why we should be clamoring for such people when we have seen someone who, on his own, have invested his time, his energy, strength, and resources just to see if Nigeria will be better, just to see if Nigeria will become good in future. And people on their own are supporting him. I don't know. There are people who cannot support him. Honestly, I cry every day for my country because since I was born, I've never benefited anything from Nigeria. But it has not been bad as it is today. When I was in Nigeria, I know Nigeria was bad. But as it is today, it has never been bad because I used to travel from east to north almost every week for my business. Almost every week. We travel all night. Every night, all the night we travel without being afraid of kidnapping, without being afraid of someone, a terrorist, without being all we are sometimes, yeah, armed robbers being on the road. That one is it's just a normal thing in everywhere in the world. But that kidnapping, no one is afraid of it because it was not there. But today, you can't travel. Today, no one can travel anymore. The same man who in his party has brought all these things to us, he's still clamoring to be Nigerian president. People are talking about him. Today, we see in Nigeria, our universities are not working. But in Anambra State, the universities have got working because of what P2B has done. In the whole Nigeria, I heard that in the whole Nigeria, in a country of over 200 million, that the population of university students in Nigeria is not up to 1.5 million. Then, what is happening? At least we're supposed to have over 5 million university students, but I heard that it's not up to 1.5 million. And we are here talking that Nigerians are educated, they go to school. Why majority don't have access? They can't afford it, and those that can afford it, these people have frustrated them. They are frustrated that they can't stop. They can't do a program that's supposed to be 4 years. They can't have it for 4 years. The same people, and the people are supporting them. Honestly, sometimes I look at all this, it gives me worries. I ask myself, where is our mind? What are we thinking? In Nigeria, you can't boast of electricity, you can't boast of good water, you can't boast of road, you can't boast of anything. Most of you that are there, you can't even, you have your internet working very well. Small businesses cannot run. And these are the things that will create jobs. But these people have failed to create an enabling environment for these small businesses to come on and to come up and run freely. And we are talking about no job. It is this small business that will provide majority of jobs to Nigerians. But they are all failing because of bad environment. And the same people who have brought all these things to Nigerians, they are coming up again. I don't know what they are going to tell Nigeria. Like Oshiomhole said, Peter Obi and Atiku, they were in unity in 2019, and the unity they fell. Is it now? I don't know what is giving them that guts to make that statement. Honestly, because they think, oh, Nigerians, oh, we are fools. We just make noise. As soon as every election is over, oh, Nigerians, everybody will go his way. I heard someone mention, and another problem we have in Nigeria is this. I heard someone mention about Julius Malema and EFF in South Africa. You see, if we can follow these guys, they are consistent. But the problem we have in Nigeria, we don't have opposition that are consistent. This is another problem we have in Nigeria, oppositions that are consistent, that fight no matter whatever that happens. They go to the parliament, they make argument, they demand, if anything happens, they demand for the either respect or gather together and summon the president. We don't have such a position. You have people who go to the party Senate and sit down there with their big stomach, whatever that come up, they take it. That's another problem we have in Nigeria. But if you have somebody like, okay, it's like my time is almost there. It's okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Mr. Charles,
end up there.
there's this sound coming from your background, please.
Oh, it's actually it's the birds that are making noise in the morning. This is almost 6:30 in the morning. Yeah. So okay, let me
I,
end
I
up
thought they
here.
were lions or something. But
No, that's the best. But I'm making noise.
Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you.
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Charles.
It's
Is
okay.
that Australia? I
Yeah, it's
don't know.
Australia.
Okay, yeah, that should be the time. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for your continuous love and support, for always doing this. Almost, easy. You guys are trying, for always coming out here every day to do this. So now to try. I truly salute for all of you now. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everyone on the comment and to our lovely viewers. And to those wonderful people who super chatted us today. Thanks, guys. We really do appreciate you. God bless you guys. You guys, all the panelists who now make sense died today. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate. Please do not hesitate to join us tomorrow, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And also, we'll be having our newspaper headline review tomorrow by 10 a.m. Endeavor to join us, guys. Thank you so much, and God
yeah,
bless you.
excuse me, Kachi, could I just remind our country that, I mean, everybody, please, just like 1 minute. I want to remind them that.
Mr. Pansat, 1 minute is 1 minute too.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm really sorry about that. I just want to remind our people that election don't they come, so they can't remove their feet a little bit from our necks. Don't forget that the kind of failures that APC had and what they were doing and which they're gonna continue to do. If you re-elect them, it's not gonna be like it is now. So remember that the shooting at protesters, a certificate holder cannot become director in civil service, but a certificate holder can become president. We're a major oil producing country in the world, but we import our oil, our fuel. The country has the highest number of foreign doctors in UK, USA, but all of them don't come out. It's like we're in exile. Let's please take our country back, because the failure is monumental. I beg. It's not about debating, talking. We should by now know how to at least stop it, bring it to civil polity. I beg. My time, I don't have enough time to say what I was going to say, but let me conclude it by saying that privatizing the oil thing we talked about before, a private sector should not be a monopoly. The capital value of anything that's going to be sold is the important thing. Things like that. The sale value should cover the opportunity cost that government will be losing. There's just a lot of things. If Atiku come to you and say he's going to privatize something, the study is going to be like a big book. It's not. It has to be a very massive study. So if he hasn't shown that, if some people are saying, "Oh, I don't look at Atiku manifesto," he says he's going to privatize. Do you know what that takes? The study. He has not shown what he's going to do in that. So just come out. It's not even a question about that. Thank you very much, and everybody have a good night. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night, good morning, and good afternoon, depending on your time zone, wherever it is that you are. God bless you all for your continuous love and support. I appreciate you guys. This is me saying bye. I remain your girl, Kachi.